All right, so tonight we are going to talk about, hold on, I'm going to share my screen. How to use our time wisely as coaches in the form of what's called a power hour. So let me open this up. And then let me see if hold on. I wonder if I can, well, okay. I don't know if I'll be able to add daily if I can see her, but if y'all are able to see her, just give me like a wave or something if she's asking to get let in, and I'll let her in. Okay, so working our business amidst having busy lives. So as y'all know, I'm a full-time nurse, and I have also built a coaching business on top of that. It is possible. It's just sometimes can be kind of like, where do I start? How do I get my coaching work in? So what we're going to call the time that we're doing our coaching work is going to be a power hour or power pockets. So talking more about that, what is it? It is a laser focused hour-ish where you grow your business. It is specifically for business building activities. And so what it's not is it's not scrolling on social media and looking at people's stories. It is not answering messages from people who texted you from the day before, which you will get to that. That's just not what I want you to start your power hour with, because that can easily take up more time and you can end up going through and scrolling on things, and it's just not the priority at the beginning. It's not having the TV on in the background or some show that's going that you are also trying to pay attention to. And it's also not scrolling through your old text messages that you haven't read yet and trying to get those done. So I say power hour or power pockets because depending on what your schedule looks like, you might be able to sit down for like 45 minutes and knock out every single thing that I'm going to talk about that's important to do. But you also might have days where you don't have that time. You only have like 5 or 10 minutes. So as an example, for me, when I'm at work, I do power pockets. I do them in short bursts of like 2 to 10 minute time intervals that I have between like giving meds or assessments or whatever my day looks like. We're going to do more power pockets on those days. So before we talk more about like specifically what this could look like, we need to know why you're here. Like, why did you sign up to be a coach? Why did you decide that you might want to do this as a hobby or a career or whatever the spectrum is that you're wanting this to be? And so I'll give you an example for me. So for my like personal reasons for being a coach, one, I want to cut down on my nursing hours when I have kids. So ideally I could go PRN, which is just one shift every 2 weeks when I have kids. I've always felt like pretty convicted towards being a stay-at-home mom. I think that I can do my best work as a mom. I had a mom who stayed home with me and I loved it. And I've always just imagined myself in my adult life being a mom. And so I'm like, wow, like if I can take steps now to make that happen in 2 to 3 years, like why would I not do that? Another personal reason for me is having more time with my husband, working less weekend hours. Those things kind of go hand in hand. And then also having the ability to set my own hours. So really like all of that can be encapsulated into time freedom. Nursing is great, but they tell me when I have to be at the hospital. If that's 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. or Friday, Saturday, Sunday during the day, like they tell me when I have to be there and I have to be there. But with coaching, I have the ability to have that freedom. As far as financial wise, this business has a huge ability to be a financial blessing. I wouldn't have to look at my time as, okay, I work 1 hour as a nurse and I make X amount. Like the amount of work and time that I'm putting into this business is very similar to what Julie Kemp is putting in. And Julie is probably making 10 times more than me. So like my time does not equal my money long term. And that's like a big reason that I'm like, wow, like that would be a huge blessing for us. Like if I could be home with our kids and work, 2 to maybe 2 hours a day on this and like help supplement what Will is making. And then also just for the pure reason of like, I saw health and fitness results and like huge transformation in my relationship with food when I started using Beachbody products. So like I want to help other people too. Like, I know there's a need out there, and I know there's so many women who struggle with like overeating or undereating, or like just don't know what to do when they work out. And like, I have the ability to help them and like give them the tools to do that. So those, again, my why is not just like a one singular thing. You can see I have like a whole slew of things listed there. But that is what fuels me to do my power hours and my power pockets. I'm not going to wake up every day and be like, oh wow, I like really feel like connecting with new people for 10 minutes, but like, I'm going to do it because that's part of my job as a coach. And if I want these things in the future, I have to put in the work every single day to make it happen. And so I want you guys to think about like, what is your why? And I feel like this gets thrown around and it can be so like cheesy, but if you like truly pinpoint like why it is you're doing this, it's just going to make it so much easier for you to actually do the things, because you like have a purpose and like you have a reason to do it. So be thinking about that. And if you would like to text me what your why is, I would love to hear it, because I'd love to be able to know like, what direction are you wanting to go? Or is it going to be like a hobby, just total like invite friends, make it fun? Or is it like totally like long-term, I want it to be my full-time career? Whatever it is, there's a huge room for flexibility there. Okay, so time management. Every single person on this earth has the same number of hours in every single day, and we can choose how we use those or not. With coaching, one of the ways that you can kind of see how you can fit your coaching things into your day is breaking up your day into 15 or 30 minute segments and saying, okay, what am I doing from the hours of 7:30 to 8? If you get up, or let's use a different example. Let's say you get up at 6 a.m. and you brush your teeth and you make breakfast and you have a quiet time. That could be like from your 6 to 7. Okay, while you're driving to work or school from 7 to 7:30, what are you doing? Are you listening to music? Are you listening to like personal development, which is part of one of our daily tasks as a coach? Are you talking to a friend? Are you like, what are you doing with that time? I know for me, like before I was a coach, I was scrolling on social media. I was looking at people's stories. I was watching Netflix more than I needed to. I put bathroom on there because there's actually a coach on Julie's team in Live Free who, when she was a full-time teacher, she did all of her invites in the bathroom while she had like a 5-minute bathroom break. Like that is when she got out her phone, and that was like her only time that she had. Like she would get up and she would do 10 minutes of connecting before work. In the bathroom, she would do her invites, and then she would get home and she would do her follow-ups and she would check in on her challenge group. And so that is how she structured her power pockets, was like literally the bathroom was part of her job. And so just kind of looking at your day, being like, okay, like where in my day am I doing things that aren't necessarily like useful? Like, sure, like watching Netflix could be great. Like I enjoy a good like episode of The Office, but if we're watching like 3 shows in a row, you could supplement 2 of those shows and put it towards coaching business. And there you go. Like you've done your power hour for the day, and you can move on knowing that you've moved your business forward one more day. So just kind of thinking through that and figuring out like, where can I fit this in? And then before we talk about actually tangibly what a power hour can look like, mindset is everything. So I am like the biggest culprit of mindset like fluctuation. Like every single month when I'm about to have my period, literally every single month, I tell Will, I'm like, I just want to delete Instagram from my phone, and I want to take a week off of coaching, and I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm tired of being on Instagram. And like, literally it's a cyclical thing. And he's always like, Meredith, no, like you are good at coaching. Like you are helping people. You need to keep doing this. And that's like totally me, like lapsing in my mindset of like why I'm here, what this can be for people, and like me just like forgetting that. And so keeping your mindset in like a good and healthy spot with coaching is so important. And that is why like personal development is one of the 4 vital behaviors, is because they know like any entrepreneurial type startup thing is going to be really hard unless you're feeding your mind with like uplifting, positive, like things that are bringing you back. So one thing that I actually had not ever done until today was write down some affirmations. And so I know a lot of coaches like who have been doing this a little bit longer have what's called affirmations, and they write down like what they want to be, or like in the future, or things that they are now that they want to be more of. And so I wrote down a couple ones that I had just to give some examples. And I want to make it a habit to look at these daily. I don't know if I'm actually gonna be able to do it daily right up front, but like eventually I want to get to the point where I'm reading these every single day, because these give me like vision and they give me an end goal. And so one of mine is, or I'll just read all of them. I am furthering the kingdom with my coaching business. I am salt and light on social media. I am a 5-star diamond coach. I am a full-time stay-at-home mom. I am the supportive and encouraging coach that I would want to have. I am someone's solution to an unhealthy lifestyle. I'm a Christ-like leader to my coaches, and I am honest, have integrity, and am purposeful in my work. And so when I read those, I'm like, yeah, like that's what I want to be. And like, that's what I can work towards. And if I'm telling myself those things, eventually it's going to work itself out in how I'm talking to my clients and how I'm talking to my coaches and how I'm posting on social media or in our group. And like having those things just give me like vision. And so affirmation is just something that's I'm going to start using because I think it's going to be really helpful. Other things that you can do to kind of like hype you up. This sounds so silly, but like just telling yourself, I'm ready to go. I have energy to do this. Let's go. Who am I going to help today? Like just telling yourself like, all right, I'm doing it. Let's go. And then just starting. Another thing that tends to slap our mindset in the face is when we get no's, or when we get, oh, I'm okay right now, or oh, not yet. No. Use the no's to fuel your fire, because no's, every single no you get, you are closer to a yes. Anything in this realm, I don't want to call it sales because part of it is a transactional thing. We are inviting them to join our group or to join coaching, but anything, any invitational type thing, it's honestly a numbers game. If you invite 100 people, somebody's going to say yes. If you only invite 2, you might get 2 no's and then you're frustrated. So use your no's to fuel your fire, and know that you are not annoying. When you invite people, when you are connecting with people, when you are talking to people about your workouts, like you're not annoying. You are literally just saying, I have found these workouts and nutrition programs that have worked for me. I have a group of girls who are all doing them together. Do you want to join us? Like that's not annoying. It doesn't have to be scary. I think we can like make it this big thing in our head and be like, oh my gosh, coaching, like what is it? It's like, no, we are inviting people to do workouts, eat healthy, do it with us. And if they want to be a coach, we're inviting them to do that too. So mindset's huge. All right, so we are now example of a power hour, which again, these can be split up. They can be chopped in half and done at different times of the day. But one example is kind of in 10-minute chunks. So the first 3 10 minutes are connect, invite, and follow up. So if you look at, I'm gonna slip over to this next slide here. This business activity tracker is like what I live and breathe with coaching. I actually have had it as the background on my phone since I started coaching 11 months ago, just so I wouldn't forget what I need to do every day. But if you can see this number 2, it says connect, invite, and follow up. So that is literally like a big chunk of this. It's called the business activity tracker, but it's a tracker that kind of tells you everything that you could possibly need to do as a coach. I included it in the introduction email for coaching for all of y'all. And I think it's also, I'll have to add it to our Be Transformed Facebook page, but it's in the back office if you wanted to like download it yourself. But a lot of people will print this out and use it as like a checkbox thing. But anyway, so first 10 minutes, connections. So I literally set a timer for 10 minutes and I go to some account that I have something in common with, and I add new followers who I think like I might be friends with them. And if they're public, like if I can see their page and I can see they're like married or they're a nurse or they have a dog, I will go into their DMs and I'll be like, hey, Sarah, I stumbled on your page. I love meeting other Christian wives on Instagram. Just wanted to say hi. Hope you're having a great week. That I do for 10 minutes every single day, because the first like 7 months of coaching, I was only inviting people who I had known at some point in my life, but eventually I ran out of those people. And so I wanted to get to the point where I had this huge new market that I had connected with for 6 to 7 months. And now a lot of my new invites are these people who I'm connecting with on a daily basis. The second 10 minutes inviting, honestly, you could knock out 10 invites in about 3 minutes if you utilize, I think Rachel, I think you've been on a call where I showed this, but Claire, you might not know. In Instagram, there's a plus button in the DMs, and if you click on it, if you click on it, there's a little text message with 3 dots on it, and if you click on that, you can save pre-textualized texts. And so you can like save your invite language. And if you're using like the same invite language for multiple people, you can just save it there and then just go in and click an invite. So when I first started coaching, I went to the people who were watching my stories, who had been watching my like workout clips, and I just invited the first 10 to 15 people. It maybe took like 3 minutes. So this you could honestly knock out in less than 10. And then the next 10 minutes is follow-ups. This you can track pencil and paper. I've done a training on it before, which I can resend that link, or I can like link it somewhere. And then 2 minutes, I've started to try to invite one person to coaching every single day. It's kind of hard because ideally I would invite people from our challenge group, and I'm not adding a new person to our challenge group every day. That's not even close to what's happening. But Julie's call from last week for Live Free, she recommended that. And so I was like, oh, that would be a good challenge to try to do, or like to try to meet people on Instagram who already like have a health and fitness account and might want to do coaching alongside of that. The next 10 minutes could be checking on your clients in your accountability group. So just taking a 10-minute chunk of time, like, I don't know, 7 o'clock at night after people have had time to post, and just go in and comment on everyone's posts. Another 10 minutes. This obviously is like going to be throughout the day, but like posting the stories, take a quick picture of your food, take a quick picture or video of you talking about what you were doing or your workout, whatever. And then I put this on here, this 8 minutes fills up the hour. Create an Instagram post or some sort of post for today or tomorrow. Typically people say posting like 4 times a week is good. Really the heart behind that is just that like when people come to your page, that is what they see. It's kind of like the brick and mortar store of your business. And so if you're not posting new content, then it might be kind of like, oh, is she active? Like, I don't know if I want to follow her. And then I've also done a training on social media, so we can get I can link that too. But personal development is a really good way to make content, because if you like learn something or were inspired or motivated by something, you can just make a post about it. Talked about that. Okay. And so even more important than the Power Hour itself is consistency. I am going to say this till I turn blue in the face. The only reason why I have had success as a coach is because I've been consistent. I started October 3rd of last year, and I have taken 3 days off of doing Power Hours or Power Pockets. I took Christmas, I took Thanksgiving, and I took my birthday off. So even like New Year's Day, I was like, Happy New Year's! I'm doing this group. Would you like to join? And like, it doesn't, like, there were days where my Power Hour took 30 minutes. And then there are also days where if I have a lot of follow-ups from the month before, it might take closer to an hour and a half. But being consistent is what is going to build coaching. It's kind of like if we look at our workouts and our nutrition, like if we only did it 2 times a week, we're probably not going to see the same results that if we did it every single day. And that's how I view my coaching business too. It's like, if I want this to be my full-time job as a mom, I need to treat it like a full-time job now, because it's not going to get there if I treat it like a hobby. Just talked about that. So, and then just something that I kind of thought about, I was like, on a small scale, like I've been a coach for 11 months and I have seen like a really good like turnout from it. On a little bit of a larger scale, Julie has been a coach for 3.5 years. And I don't know if y'all know her story, but she went from full-time nurse to full-time coach in about 2 years. And now she stays home full-time with their kiddos. She makes almost double what she did as a nurse. And then her like person above her is Nikki, and she's like 7 years in. I just like look at all these other coaches and I'm like, gosh, all they did is power hours every single day. Like, it's that simple. There's no like secret ingredient. It's literally this business activity tracker every single day. So that's just like what I like about coaching too, because we have the tools. Like, we don't have to like guess about what to do. It literally tells us what to do. And so we just do it. And that's what every single other coach has ever done. Okay, just kind of a side note, life balance. So I mentioned some days it would take me 30 minutes. Some days it would take me closer to an hour and a half. I have a tendency of, at first when I started coaching, I had a tendency of wanting to be very quick to respond to people, because I had a fear that if I wasn't responding quickly, they were going to say, oh, never mind, I don't want to do this anymore. And that just like was a limiting belief, and that wasn't like a true like fear. And so what I've started doing is I turn off my Instagram and Facebook notifications so that when I am working, I go into my apps and I respond to my people and I post to my story and I post my post, and then I get off and I don't even think about it, or I attempt to not think about it. Sometimes I'm still like, oh, like I was talking to that girl, I wonder if she responded, just because I enjoy it and it's fun. But that has really helped me have like I guess like a life work separation, because I'm like, okay, I have my power hour or I have my power pockets, and I'm getting on Instagram and I'm responding to my people kind of like it's an email. And then once I have them all responded to, I can move on with my day and it's not taking over my life. Something that I've heard people say before is that this is an everyday business, but not an all day business. So it's not something like my nursing shifts take 12 hours. Like, I'm gone from the house for 14 hours. Like, that's not what this is. This is a get in, get out, get it done. It's kind of like our workouts, honestly. Little 30-minute, get in, get her done, move on. And then I think this is second to last slide. So I mentioned this before, but just kind of some more like mindset motivation. If you want this to be like a business full-time income type thing, you have to treat it that way. If you aren't going to work your business, you're not going to have a business. And so if you don't have a business, you're not helping as many people in their health and fitness. You're not going to be making money if that's one of your goals, and you won't reach your goals in coaching. Last little thing, you are the CEO of your company and you have the tools to help people live healthier lives. And so if you want to help people do that, you got to get out there and invite people to your groups, because they're not probably going to come to you if they're just probably not going to. I've had very, very, very few, I can probably count on one hand the amount of people who I've had come to me first asking about workouts. It's all been me reaching out, and that's part of inviting and following up. So it's just part of the job. And so I want to start ending all of our calls with like a call to action type, like tangible, what can I actually do from here? So from here, I put these 4 things. Write down affirmations. So things that you see yourself being either in this business or as a coach, or things that you are now that you want to expound upon, and write down your why. And I would love to hear your why, because I want to know like how I can hold you accountable, how I can best support you in that. And if there's anything like specific to your why that I can do to like help you in that, I want to know. 2 is evaluate your day / like your weekly schedule and figure out like, okay, when can I get this done? Can I get 5 invites sent when I'm on the toilet in the bathroom? Like, can I set a timer on my watch for 10 minutes and do connection? Like, can I get, this is what I would do too. When I'm on day shift, I get to work 10 minutes earlier and I set a timer for 10 minutes and I do my connections in the morning. That way it's like, all right, connections done. Don't have to think about it. And then last thing I just said, put your phone on do not disturb, get it done. You don't have to start with 7 days a week. I kind of went like way in, and I was like, I'm doing this every single day. But it's hard to go from 0 to every day if you haven't done it a day yet. So start with 3 to 4 days a week. Just try to implement it and see how it works and see where you can fit it in. Yeah. that is all I got. Do y'all have any questions or comments? Okay. I'm also trying to keep these to like 20-25 minutes just to honor everyone's time. So 6:26, I'm feeling super accomplished. I love it. Okay. Well, if that's it, do y'all have any comments? No? Alrighty. Well, have a good Tuesday. I'll text about next week. I have a talk that I'm going to do on inviting next week. So I'll remind everybody to next week. But have a good rest of your week and rest of your night. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.